You have joined the ranks of Philadelphia University Alumni Association. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Jim Cass, class of 1990, to speak to you about what it means to become alumni. Mr. Cass has had a long history of professional success with SEI Investments Company. SEI has more than 150 clients representing more than $400 billion of assets and is ranked a top 5 provider in the industry. Mr. Cass joined the company after graduating from Philadelphia University and has held a number of positions throughout the company. He is currently the Senior Vice President and Managing Director of Investment Management Services. Mr. Cass currently serves on Philadelphia University's School of Business Administration Advancement Council. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jim Cass, class of 1990.
Thank you. Well, when I sat in the audience in 1990 receiving my diploma, trust me, I never would have thought I would have been up here talking to you today. But I'm very proud to represent the thousands of alumni and new alumni scattered across the globe. When I sat down to think about what I was going to say today, my thoughts went right back to late fall 1986 when I was an 18-year-old freshman. Back in those days, semester grades were sent home by mail. For some reason, they beat me to my house, and I knew I didn't have a great semester, but I didn't know how bad it actually was. So I was a little unprepared when I walked through the front door with a big bag of dirty laundry, with the envelope sitting on the kitchen table waiting for me. I got a nice greeting from my parents, and then I knew it was time to check the damage. I said before I open this, I want you both to know that I went to college to learn, not to study. They caught on really quick, and they thought I definitely tanked the semester and said, "What the heck does that mean?" I said, well, I had to learn how to manage my schedule between classes, getting to practice, getting to meets. I had to learn how to get around campus, learn how to get around the city, had to learn how to deal with loud dorm mates, where to go to the next party. I went on and on and on. So then I figured I better open it up and see what the grades are, and I was right, they were dismal. My parents just shook their heads and said, all that other stuff isn't going on a job application, but your GPA certainly is. I suggest you learn how to study. So thankfully for me, that was my worst semester my entire 4 years on campus. I was fortunate to have great professors on campus who helped me learn my degree. Solano, Borowski, Hussein, Casey, Dr. Gloria Thompson, and many others that would take too long to name. I took advantage of the smaller class ratios and embraced the learning exercise, and yes, I eventually learned how to study. I know each and every one of you enjoyed some sort of motivation from your professors or another family member. I'd like the graduates to take a minute and give them a nice round of applause. When I started my job at SEI shortly after graduation, I leveraged many of the things I learned at Philadelphia University, but I was right, it was way more than the classroom experience. I think you'll find, as I have, that Philadelphia University prepares you for your career, not just your job. I make it a point at SEI to try and hire Philadelphia University graduates. We have had great success with you. You come out of the workforce hungry and eager to use the skills you developed here. It's a cultural thing that'll serve you well for the rest of your life. I just want to leave you with a few tidbits of advice because I'm between the end of this thing and your cocktail parties as you start your careers, but just 4 quick things of advice. Number 1, find a few good mentors in the industry you have chosen to work in. Seek out those you hope to emulate and find more about how they got to their current roles. Many people are happy to share their experiences and learn from them. Number 2, and we already had a lot of talk about this, if you're going to fail, fail fast. In other words, it's perfectly okay to challenge the boundaries. No one wants to hear, that's the way we've always done it. Go in there and experiment with change, but when it's not going well, adjust quickly, but never give up trying to change. Number 3, and this is really important, never forget where you came from. Today you will walk out these doors as graduates of Philadelphia University. You are now ambassadors of this university forever. No matter what you do from this point on, your bio will say, graduate of Philadelphia University. Be very proud of it, you've earned it. Number 4, pay it forward. As you sit there with this great accomplishment, you can point to several people to help you get here. As you progress through your career, find others that you can become the mentor of and give back. We want you all to contribute to society. You know, I ran cross country here, it says in my bio, and when you ran cross country, you had to have a certain mindset during the race. In cross country, they put big hills in some of these races, and it's 5 miles. Most of the runners would get to the top of a big hill, and they would want to recover for like 200 yards afterwards, and they were just happy to get up the hill. But the runners that were going to win the race were the ones that got to the top and worked harder off the top of every hill, and they were the ones that had the best chance to win the race. You all just got to the top of this hill. I want you all to run really hard off of the hill. Congratulations, go Rams.